Get in here, guys. Let's go. Let's go, everybody. Get your little TikTok asses in here. It's rant night. There you are. Get in here. Come on now. Come on down, everybody. We're gonna get crazy tonight. It's rant night. Might play some cute songs and stuff too, but mostly we're just gonna rant about shit. Come on down, everybody. Come on down. Welcome. Sorry I didn't tune my guitar before I started. I'm cheating. I got a little tuner inside of it. It's cute as shit, huh? How is everybody? What's up? What are you guys doing? Where are you from? Tell me something neat about yourself. Tell me your favorite thing about yourself. Ready, go. What's your favorite thing about yourself? I want to know. I'm going to rant about it. God, I was so spicy today in my videos. I didn't even do that many, but man, I got all worked up, you know. Gotta get worked up sometimes. Come on down, kids. If you just showed up, you're telling me you're a triplet? Shut up. What's that like? How many are you? Boys, girls? What? How does that work out? Like, what is that like? How old are you? How old are all ye alls? All ye triplets? And do we have any other triplets in the house tonight? Boys? Oh man, how old are you guys? Right? Don't you want to know what that... Oh, we got 36, 48. Nice, nice, nice. Dude, we got a bunch of like... Basically, my lives are always like old talk, you know? Just fucking old talk. 5? You guys are 5, Matthew? Or there's 5 triplets, because that's not how math works, you know? I'm going to rant about that. You better not be 5. I can't... 14? Okay. Because I'm going to say... If you're... I can't do my thing if there's 5-year-olds hanging on here, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's like a certain accountability. How old are you guys? I can't do rant talk. Whoa. I can't do proper rant talk, you know what I mean? Oh, I can play Karma Police. How's that one go? Oh, I just tuned with this other capo on. Whatever. Somebody finally named a song that I actually kind of know. My favorite color. I've had a lot of green vibes lately, you know? A lot of green vibes lately. I kind of like all the things, though. What's up, Will Ferrell? Yeah, thank you. He doesn't have such a sick mustache, though. Okay. We're gonna rant. Was anybody there for the contrails videos today? That really got me going. Every rose has its thorn. Hold on, I'm gonna play Karma Police. We're all gonna sing along at home. Actually, tell you the truth about Radiohead. You guys want to know something neat? I think Pablo Honey was the first album I ever bought and was like kind of serious about, with Creep on it. Some of you youngins have no idea what I'm talking about, because that's basically like the oldies station now. Isn't that weird, you guys? All you oldies out there? I mean, we got some 50s in here, you know what I'm saying? It's old talk. Oh yeah. Yeah, isn't that neat? Like, that was really the first album I was like, this is music. Like, yes. Okay. All of you not old talkers, definitely get the album Pablo Honey. It was fucking sick. Karma Police was not from Pablo Honey, though. That was from... Karma Police? No, what was that from? I forget. I have a lot of Radiohead albums. But now I just listen to everything on Spotify, you know? Yeah, oldies are lit. Okay, check in again. We got some... how old are you guys? Better not be 5. And the 14-year-olds. The 14-year-old triplets. Oh, man, look at this. 42. We got the 40s in here. Tell me about what it's like to be a triplet. I really want to know. Like, that's got to be a trip, you know? Do you guys just fuck with people and, like, wrestle all the time? Because I would definitely be wrestling all the time. You know what I'm saying? Radiohead the first time it... Oh, rad. That's cool. In Paris. 4% Irish too. Okay. Oh, it's St. Patrick's Day, isn't it? I think so. Somebody told me that. All right. Pablo Honey was horrible too, but everything after the... Oh, you didn't like Pablo Honey? Get out of here. Well, I mean, Ryan Camber, I don't even know who that is. Song goes. Sorry. Insane. What's the coolest show you guys have ever been to? I gotta say, I think mine was probably a Muse show. If you guys have ever seen Muse live, like when they were in their prime, I don't know what they're doing now. But sweet, buttery baby Jesus, those guys put on a show. Oh, and when they come out with, what was that song? That one? Come on. Got backstage. Tame Impala at the Gorge. That sounds sick. Tool at the Gorge. Okay, we got a lot of Gorge. No way. Rolling Stones at your first concert. Floyd. Oh. You on my snake plant? You back off my snake plant. Hey, maybe I'll let you guys meet Barbara. She's my spotted begonia. Has anybody met Barbara on one of these lives? What's up, Sweden? Not exactly common chords. So weird. You know them and not the words, right? I don't know. I'm like a guitar guy. Okay. Chili Peppers. Kravitz in the 90s. That must have been pretty sick. That dude was doing things, you know? Doing things. I have a snake plant I got out of a dumpster. That touched my little heart, you know? You're not supposed to be rant night. I'm supposed to be ranting about shit, but like, I really appreciate you rescuing that snake plant. I rescued a get a little more snake plant in there. I rescued a fiddly fig one time. It was sitting out there on Neptune, and I went for a little shroom walk with my friend Megan, and we were just vibing. And we passed this big fiddly fig. It was sad. It just had like one little leaf at the top. And I was like, it might have been because I was on mushrooms. But I was like, I'll save that fiddly fig. You know, I like had a little moment with it. Saved it. I don't have it anymore, but I'm going to push this over a little bit so it's better. Motherfucker. Okay, I got it. Happy about it too. My plants are almost all rescues. That's really sweet, you guys. Just watched one of your videos on my whip. All I have to say is thank you. You're welcome. Okay, let's talk about plants we've rescued, guys, because I think I was going to rant, you know? It's rant night and all. But what kind of plants have you guys rescued? Like, it's important, you know? You find that little plant and you're like, somebody's just really you know, they abandoned it. Like, how do you think that plant feels? That plant must be like, I just want to live. Because the good Lord knows, like, whoever was taking care of it before was not fucking taking care of it, and that's why they abandoned it. You love the videos. You love TikToking me. Plants have feelings. Ashley. Hi, Ashley. She's my little crystal witch. Everybody follow Ashley. Whoa, Ash, nice. Hitting them 10Ks. See that Ashley there? Ashley Spadali? She sniffs crystals like she loves them. on her other account. She literally just makes it. She's a full-on crystal sniffer. She loves it. She's got some great crystals too. Every time I go over to her house, I get all tingly, like it's kind of shaky, you know? Yeah, it's the Shiz. Super inspiring. I was gonna get all ranty tonight. I was all worked up on contrails today. I was like, I took this video, right? I was like smelling a little flower. Did anybody see that one? I was feeling real good. I just went and bought a new e-bike. Went down to Rad Power, got a Rad Runner 2, passenger package. So I can put the lady on there, you know? Ride her around with her sweet ass hanging out. And I was just feeling real good, you know? It's beautiful. Beautiful down by the San Diego Bay, like the harbor. It's like the winds, there's birds. There's all these little flowers everywhere, and I picked a flower, and I was just walking with it, and I was like, I'm gonna make a video. They made this real nice video, and I saw in the video, right, what did I see? What did I see? What did I see but a contrail behind me up in the sky? Because the fucking airport's right there, you know? So, of course, there's gonna be a contrail because it's an atmospheric event. Anyway, I see it in that video, and I was like, God damn it, somebody's gonna be like, it's the chemtrails. And that's one of the things that gets me going, right? You start talking chemtrails on me, and I'm like, I switch out of that real nice Daniel mode, and my Aries vibes come out, and I'm just like, my lip starts twitching, but you can't really see it because there's a sweet ass mustache. All right, hold on. You just built an e-bike today. Wait, you just did? I did? You've never been to San Diego? Listen, guys, I'm going to give you a little tip because you're hanging out here. Just the tip, all right? There's only 31 of you, so I'm going to spill a little bit of the beans here. Everybody loves San Diego, right? It's like, oh, I'm going to go to San Diego. Now, San Diego County is a big, big place, right? Big, big. Big San Diego vibes. But if you go to Encinitas, shh, keep it on the fucking down low, you know? Yeah. Nice work with you guys talking about your, yeah, you guys should grow a mustache, especially you, Ashley. I think it'll look really good on you. Actually, I just bought a package of fake mustaches for the kids. So we can all run around in mustaches. It's going to be sweet. Yeah, Encinitas. Okay, look. Technically, Zach, I am in Leucadia, which is part of Encinitas. It's basically like, I'm in rural Leucadia, okay? There's regular Leucadia, which is like where the beautiful people live. And then there's rural Leucadia. That's where I live. There's some chickens. I'm on a little dirt road. It's an old agricultural property, like farmland zoned. La Costa de Carlsbad. Yeah. You know the vibes. Zach's Chi, who are you? Are we friends? We're friends now. How do you know about this? Tell me about this, Zach's Chi. Yeah, a chicken. That's right. Ashley, are you still? Rural Acadia. Okay, what kind of hippie is Ashley? Ashley's a hippie, but she's like a pink hippie. Ashley, one night we did all the different types of hippies. Everybody go look at Ashley Spidali's profile and see how pink her hair is. She's just pink and lovely and just does all her Ashley shit. So, Ashley, we were talking about, we were going to do like a video on the different types of hippies, right? And we picked out all the different, we just, there's like the wooks, like the kind of stinky hippies, and there's like, chicken hippies was one of them. There's the 5 deers. Pink hippie sounds like a normal hippie. Now, Ashley's not a normal hippie. She's a crystal sniffer for sure. Big time. Like, she's got a lot of them. Big ones. Like, you go in the bathroom, and there's a bunch of crystals. You go into, her house, and there's a bunch of... Anywhere in her house, there's crystals everywhere. It's like... You got to wear shoes in there, because it'll be all... Yeah, tarot. Yeah, I got some tarot cards somewhere. I don't actually know how to read them all that well, so I used the book. I made this little bag. That's how much of a witch I am. Did you know that? You guys want to pull a card? It's dusty. We don't have to do tarot. Let's just talk about hippies. Yeah. Ashley, I can't deal with all your crystals. I would be stepping on that. This shit's everywhere, you know? Okay. God, there's so many comments. You're getting me all confused. What is SawCon? What is that? They're like, are you going to SawCon? And I'm like, I don't know. Know any good soaps for skin? I use the, what's up, ghee butter? Soaps for skin. I use that, Dr. Bronner stuff. And I just put it on my skin and I soap myself up with it. And I feel all clean afterwards. Because it's very soapy. If you've ever tried it, it's real soapy soap. Sprouts has all you need. What is a SawCon? Is it like a convention for people who are into saws? I'm assuming. Like, we're talking... I like some of those saws, like the big ones. You pull, you know? SawCon these nuts. SawCon these nuts. Suck on these... You can suck on these nuts. You fucking suck on. That's a reach. Aiden's all about the D's nuts, my son, 13. And I'm like, Aiden, shut up about these nuts. Got him. So many people have asked me if I'm going to SawCon. And I'm like, what are you fucking talking about? I'm old. I don't know these colloquialisms of the children. Kid talk. This is old talk. This is like 35 and up over here, all right? Okay, if you didn't check in with your age yet, how old are you? I need to know if there's any, how appropriate I need to be. For D's nuts, 29ers, 35. Okay, you can stay. You can stay. Why don't you just start saying yes? Yes, I'm gonna say yes now. 38, yeah. See, it's old talk up at 52. Love it. 28, you're out of here. You're 93. Shut up. Shut up with these nuts. Get out of here. Can we meme speak at my house? Oh, yeah, we call it meme speak. Yeah. Oh, you got boys 12 and 14. You know what's... Yeah, you get it. He's fucking hilarious. Okay, you can stay. You can stay. But eventually just... Look, time is an illusion, right? So basically, you're over 35 at this point. Here, I accept you as that if you want to be. And honestly, here's a little secret. Ladies, pay attention. Guys, you don't really need to pay attention because you can't do any fucking thing about it. I hate to break it to you, everybody. But dudes are kind of... It's like, it takes a little while for them to get it, you know? This is personally speaking. And it's almost like you gotta wait till it's like over 35 till they start getting it, and then they turn a little bit reasonable. Until then, it's like these nuts over here and these nuts, those nuts over there, you know? Yeah, just tell them when you're 35. Yeah. Okay, everyone's over 35, so we can talk about whatever we want. I was gonna rant, but do you guys want to rant about stuff? Yeah. My dad used to say that. He'd be like, guys are worthless till they're 35 or something. And I was like, what? And then I understood later in life. Yeah, you suck on these nuts. Jeez. All right. What did I do today? That's a really good question. I was tired. I was beat today. All right, you're not worthless, okay? Just know we're definitely going to talk about the conspiracy theories tonight. Look, I don't mean to say you're worthless. It's just like, here's how to not be worthless. Just don't take everything so fucking seriously, you know? don't try to force it all. Like, you learn that, like, oh, I don't gotta be all like, this is the way it is, you know? Just get over it now, and then you can be cool. Hey, happy full moon and happy St. Patrick's Leprechaun Day. You guys going to SockCon? What's SockCon? These nuts. All right, full moon. Oh yeah, what did I do today? It's 8:28. Feeling great. I woke up late because last night we raged on TikTok until 11:11, and then exactly at 11:11 I turned it off immediately. Gone. And then I was all hyped up because it was such a fun live. Were you guys here who was here last night? We were just raging. We did magic tricks. Oh, we got 50,000 likes. Where's Chris at? Chris, oh fuck, Chris is right here. Chris, dude, lay off on the likes tonight, man. I'm really kind of getting concerned about your thumbs, dude. Like, you've been working hard 2 nights in a row, and I'm like, if I'm the one, oh, you guys want some Palo Santo? If I'm the one that causes your carpal tunnel, I'm gonna feel bad, dude. Like, just take a break, man. Like, hey, Chris, you going to SockCon? Are you going to SockCon, dude? You want to? You want to sock on these nuts? That's the stupidest TikTok joke, you guys. Why would you ever? I gotta burn more of this after that. Doubles. We're gonna get some spirits in here real quick, and then we're gonna talk about conspiracy theories. So anyway, I was telling you the story. Oh, and you asked the question, what did I do today? I just woke up late. I didn't set an alarm. I was like, I'm not setting an alarm. And I woke up late, like 7. Whew. I was beat. I was donezo. And I made one video. I was like, I'm gonna make a quick video just about how tired I am, just for fun. And I just made a stumbling out of my house video. I thought it'd be funny. It was funny. And then basically my only goal today was to get a new e-bike because I needed a new one. And it was actually pretty great. I thought I was going to get a Super 73, and I bought a Super 73 from a guy used, and the battery was shitting out, and it was like not as described, and I was like, bro. And luckily the guy took it back. That was cool of him. I think he was a little nervous because I knew where he lived. I was being cool. I wasn't threatening him, but he was a little bit, I could tell he was a little, not shifty. He just very, I don't know how to explain it. So he took the bike back. That was cool. Gave me my money back. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to get the Super 73. I'm just going to go right back to the Rad Runner because it was pretty rad. And then I realized that the money I'd paid for the Super 73, I could get just a brand new Rad Runner. So I called up Rad Runner, or Rad Power down in, it's like all the way in South Bay. It's like down by the border. So I had to drive like 45 minutes down there, but I got a brand spanking new one, Rad Runner 2. And I brought it home. Cut off. They had so many safety tags on that thing. I was like, guys, like nobody needs to be this safe. There was a safety tag on everything with like the big zip ties, you know? I was like, fuck. All these reflectors everywhere. I spent like half an hour just taking all the stupid shit off it. Thank you, Ashley. Thank you. What's up, Tie Diet? I should have put that shirt on. Do I plant leaves? Do I plant leaves, Allie? No, I don't live in Indiana. No, I do not live in. I don't live in. I live in San Diego area, Encinitas. Leucadia. Rural Leucadia. To be exact. I did get my shirt. I might put it on at one point here. Thank you for that thing. So I went down to Rad Power and I got a new bike, which was rad. And I made a video down there. And it had a contrail in the background, right? One of those in the sky. Because there's an airport right there and there's a bunch of planes that fly around, right? So I saw that contrail back there and I was like, I know one of these hippies is going to be like, they're spraying you. And no, I realize that there are things going on in the world. But when it comes to contrails, let me just talk to you about trigonometry a little bit so we can understand this, right? The way that the airfoil works on an airplane, that's the wing. You got to understand this about airplanes. This is important. It's the airfoil is different than the wing is the entire assembly, right? With the ailerons and the flaps. So that's the wing. The airfoil is like the body of it. And the way an airfoil is shaped is kind of like this. This. See that happening there? You ever seen that? The top of it's like this. So when the air hits it, it goes like this. Bam! It splits the air. And then these air molecules are trying to reattach to themselves. So one goes straight under and one goes over. So them to link back up on the backside, this has to go over faster, right, than this one that's going under. And so because it goes faster, it creates a high pressure area here, or low pressure. I can't remember. Neither here nor there, unless you're really into like aviation maintenance technology. And so that's what creates the lift. It's a Venturi effect. It actually sucks the wing up. It goes like, and that's how the airplane flies. Now there's a little glide too, but if you look at these things, these bastards flying around in the sky, big old things, big aluminum, just giant boat with a bunch of people in it. Like there's not that much glide on these wings, right? We're talking physics here, right? And so when that happens, what happens, guys? What happens in meteorology? In the sky, you got an air current going this way and an air current going this way. One is hotter and one is colder. So you get a high pressure and a low pressure in the sky, up in the atmosphere. What fucking happens? Anybody know? Clouds, condensation. All right, those air molecules are like, oh fuck. And then it's the same kind of event when, like the side of your glass, if it's cold, if your water's cold and it's hot on the outside, it's sort of the same thing. And so the evaporatory situation that's happening actually creates all of the water molecules in the air to stick together with water magnets. That's a technical term. And then you have condensation, or, up in the air, you have a cloud. And so when these airplanes go through the air and there's enough moisture in the air in those situations, you have a little event of condensation. And you can actually see it coming off the wings sometimes. When you look out and you see that little like white, and you're like, what is that? Well, now you know. And so it just always drove me crazy, right? Well, there's a few elements that drive me crazy on this, and that's Rant Night. We're going to go to town. One is that atmospheric event of just simple way that airfoils work, like the physics of airfoils, and everybody knows this, obviously. And you have this event of condensation in the sky, so it's making this trail of little cloud, a little string of clouds. A skyboat, yeah. Can you, will be Will Ferrell, also John C. Reilly, how can one person be so, I don't know. They must have had a baby. And it's me. So anyway, so the thing goes through the sky boat with this teeny little wing on it, right? And then you can see how the airfoils work. Those. If you ever looked out the wing of a plane, the window of a plane, you see the wing out there, and when it goes to take off, the flaps go. Ashley, Great. Ashley's texting me. She left my live and now she's texting me. We'll figure it out. So when it's going slower, right? The airplane's going slower. That's not to create. Caitlin, listen. Last night, Caitlin had a dream that I was a cult leader. Me. Can you believe that? And her and her mom were trying to escape my cult. And I was like, I'm thinking now, I'm like, what the fuck, Caitlin? Like, why would you try to escape my cult? So airfoils, all right, the ailerons, not the ailerons, the flaps come out and it creates more space and you see the wing round a little bit more. So when you have the turbines blasting their turbine-ness, jet propulsion, that event happens quicker, and then as soon as it gets up in the air and gets up to a little speed, then you get those flaps come in. And notice the wings, not a lot of wing for those big old fat airboats, right? So the event of the Venturi effect is actually pulling the airplane up in the air by the tops of the wings. It's not so much the bottoms of the wings. Now they have a little bit of glide, but big airliners don't have a lot of glide. Like little Cessnas and shit have glide, but not the big skyboats, right? They really worked on those things to make them fly. And when it comes to airplanes, there's things like gross overload. Like it literally won't do the whole thing if it's too heavy. Like, you know, if you put too much shit in an airplane, it won't fly. It doesn't work. It's just sort of physics. You'd have to have more space on the wing, and then it would have to be stronger. Then you have to build the whole thing bigger, because then you'd have to have more structural support, and you'd have to have more fuel, and it's this big like weight ratio. It's very, very technical, right? And so, you know, a 747. So first off, there's this event of atmospheric condensation. When you have enough water molecules in the air and the thing happens, then you have this string of cloud. It's shitting clouds, you know? It's like a little cloud shitter, blasting them out as it flies through the air. And then you have the event of, think of it as typical Boeing 747, right? You can get 567 passengers in there or something like that. Figure everybody weighs an average of 200 pounds. That's like 104,000 pounds with luggage, you know? Then you got another, 50,000 pounds or something like that. If you do 50 pounds of bag, something, you just do the math on that, right? And then that's pretty much at maximum capacity. And then you have the whole dynamic of weight and balance. Like there's a pivot point on that wing, you know? You guys know this stuff. And so all these commercial airliners flying around with a bunch of people in it with luggage that already has a capacity. And when they were designed, when the airplanes were designed, it was like the early 1900s. It was like 1920. And we had a different food supply back then. There wasn't all the chemicals and stuff in it. We didn't have all of the preservatives and the things that just really kind of gum our bodies up and cause us all a little bit of extra weight. And when they designed it, the average weight of a person was much less. It was like 175 pounds. So everybody now, the average weight's up to like 200 pounds each, just the way society is. And so that's why they had to lower the luggage weight thing, because they just are not going to fly anymore because they're too heavy. And so I'm looking at this and I'm like, how the fuck? Like a super tanker 747 that takes water around and dumps it on fires, that's approximately 20,000 gallons or something like that, which is approximately 160,000 pounds or something like that. You do the math. And that's about the same as like 157 passengers with luggage. So I just look at it and I'm like, you got to consider that this teeny little airplane, you see that contrail happen, and then it's big. It's pretty big compared to the airplane. I mean, this is like a 60, 70 foot, 100 foot tall cloud, probably cylindrical-ish. That's a lot. If it was spraying some fluid out, that's a lot. And it goes really far through the sky. And so you got to think about it. It's like, okay, if we got all these passengers in the plane, where the fuck and what are you spraying? Like, where's all the fluid that's being sprayed? And on all these commercial planes that you see, all these commercial planes flying through the sky, you don't see any jets and nozzles on them. There's none of that contraptions. And all of the people that work for the airplane companies are civilians or airframe and power plant mechanics and things like that. And there's a lot of them. Baggage handlers. And you watch the fuel truck, like you could see the fucking airplane out the window the whole time. And it's not like, the guy in the black truck drives up and he's like, ha 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 ha, and he fills it up with the devil fluid from the government to go spray on people. No, they got a busy schedule. Like, the FAA is a trick, they got to keep that thing moving, So I just think, like, okay, how the fuck are these commercial airplanes, like, spraying everybody? But every single commercial airplane you see making a contrail is still making a contrail. So that is an atmospheric event. It's not spraying any shit. And you never see airplanes, just random-ass airplanes, like, flying around with a bunch of sprayers on them, spraying stuff. So just by simple logic and a little bit of history, understanding how airplanes were created and how the weight thing works and how, aviation maintenance technology works and stuff like that, and how physics works and the trigonometry of wings. Like, if you just think through all those things, it's very obvious that it's not possible for them to be carrying around a bunch of, government witchcraft fluid to spray on us to do something, right? To kill us. And why would the government want to kill us? But who's going to pay the taxes? They love that shit. And if you're not paying your taxes because you're dead, like, what's the point? Wouldn't the government rather do something like rile everybody up on some bullshit conspiracy? Like, let's get the peasants stirred up. That's why they were, like, in the olden days, they'd send one guy to one town to get them all riled up on this town, and they'd be, like, fighting, so nobody ever was like, why the fuck are you taking all our money? It's the same thing. It's like the government literally starts this conspiracy because people look in the sky and they see this atmospheric event and they go, oh, something's spraying on us. And so then the government's sitting there in their little room, the guys that are actually kind of smart, they're the ones that have been making a lot of money in the first place. They've kind of like, are the controlling class. They look at the peasants and they say, look at these fucking idiots. Like, we can get them all riled up by telling them that we're spraying things on them. Ooh, And then everybody gets all riled up. They're like, oh, news report says, did you hear the government spraying things on you? And everyone's like, I knew it. And then they fight on the internet and nobody ever looks at the man and goes like, what the fuck's up with this? Like, why are you doing this whole thing of all this bullshit? And yeah, there's cloud seeding programs and stuff like that. And they've done weather control programs, spraying aluminum particles in the air since like the 1940s and things like that, trying to like change weather patterns and things. But that's not happening like on any grand scheme at all. And how many people do you know in your life, like of all this government conspiracy, like think of all the people you know right now, like there's Laura, and there's Bill, there's Jim. Like how many of them are in government conspiracies, right? Of all the people that you know. I know a lot of people. Like, is anybody here involved in a government conspiracy? Just go ahead and shout it out. Like if you know the color, like the flavors of Gatorade, you're probably in on that. So people think that, oh, they're controlling us by spraying us. No, you dumb nuts. They're controlling you by making you think they're spraying you, by feeding you a line because they know the idiot peasants are going to believe it because they don't actually think shit through and they just get all riled up and emotional about it. And it's like, it's quite evident on my last couple videos, about people getting all riled. They're like, you're wrong, bro. I'm like, guys, you're fucking idiots. I literally explained like the history of aircraft. I explained a little physics. There's a little trigonometry involved. And I even explained like the bigger philosophy and stuff. And they still, because everybody wants to sensationalize some shit because nobody wants to deal with how they actually feel. And it just plays into the whole game of the machine. Because it's not even the government that's doing anything. It's the people with the money that are controlling the government. And the same people with the money, there's a few super rich people, and I'm sure there's some conspiracy because they're going to kind of manipulate society so they can have more money and power and control because they're assholes. Like the same people that own, like the same people at the top that own your investment funds also own Apple Computer, and they're listening to this little conversation right now on my iPhone. And the same people that own Apple Computer they are the ones that fund different government. And they're the same people that do all the medicine companies, and the same people that do the food companies. So they feed you some bullshit food, and then the government with their programs of saying, oh yeah, these chemicals are okay, and these preservatives are okay in the food. This bullshit's okay in the food. You're allowed to have that, even though we look at the chemicals and it's like, that's not so good in my body. Like if you actually take a look at what's in it. But they say, no, it's cool. Because they know you're going to get sick, so then they can sell you the medicine, and then they're going to advertise the whole fucking thing on TV, one ad after another. It's like, buy this fucking donut, and then it's like, oh, here's somebody in a tub looking at a sunset talking about this medicine that's going to make you feel better when it causes explosive diarrhea and bleeding from the eyes. And everyone goes, that sounds like a good idea. Like, don't you think it's kind of a fuck show? But chemtrails are spraying us to control us. No, they're not doing that. They're distracting you, and you're shoveling it into your mouth every day. You're pumping it into your body every day to keep you suppressed, to keep you feeling like shit. So you never feel that greater sense of awe, and you never get happy, and you never look at them and go, wait a minute, guys. What? And then they have a real big reach on their voice by saying, oh, you gotta obey, otherwise you're gonna get it. And it's like, you're gonna get it from what? Like, what, are the cops gonna come shoot you? Like, how many cops are in your area? And they're really busy, like, taking out brown people. They hate them. Because they've been conditioned to do that. So it's like this system of fear and control that keeps everybody suppressed and in fear and eating bullshit and taking bullshit drugs to feel horrible. And then they never get free. So then the guys at the top still make more money. So here's the trick. As soon as you stop giving a shit about all that, it loses control. As soon as you stop caring about that, it loses control. And you change your habits. And the more you change your habits, the more they lose control. And it doesn't matter anything about the money, because that's all made up anyway. Like, look at the inflation rate that just happened. They're like, well, fuck, just print some more money. Everybody loses 7% or 10% on all their money. Just instantly. Because it's like, oh, we'll just put more money into the system. Like, what's backing that money? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. That's why they don't like all the cryptocurrencies and things like that, because they don't have control over that. That's why China won't do cryptocurrencies, because they're like, oh, we really got to control this shit. Like, what? You guys got to think about this stuff. But the key is, think about it to the point where you go, oh, this is all bullshit. I'm not going to believe any of it. And I'm going to be free in every moment right here. Because the more I'm just free, and I stop believing the control, because there's nothing backing the control, just like there's nothing backing the money, the more they lose control over you in your life. And so then you get to live your life free. You get to enjoy it. And you get to be happy. And then you like, when you're enjoying it and being happy and you're not caring about all that stuff and it's not working you all up, you don't want to take the medicines and things like that. And you want to eat better food and you start taking care of yourself. And then you get even more happy. And then they lose even more control. And they're scared of that. Because they like that proverbial money. It's a whole construct. So anyway, chemtrails do not exist. And if you're believing that shit, and if you're jumping into all that conspiracy theory stuff, like, you're literally just buying into the machine. That is a system of control that kingdoms have been using for eons. I'll get this people group fighting this people group, so they never look at the guys at the top going, you know what I mean? Like, fuck all that shit. Live your life and be free. Can you guys do that for me? Thanks. Good. All right, what are you guys talking about? I saw a lot of comments. Saw a lot of things. A lot of things going on here. What do you guys? Oh shit! I can't. Not a jet nozzle in sight. My dude, how's your day been? Let's talk about that. Any recommendations on books, content, people that you learned from, bro? All that stuff was a freebie that Daniel learned. I took an aviation maintenance technology course a while back, a long time ago, in my 20s, and I learned more in that course about the way things work, like on a materials level and physics level, than I've ever learned in any course I've ever taken. So just like once you understand how things work, like all the bullshit doesn't make any sense anymore. I'd say Ram Dass is a guru of mine, but he never tells you to do anything. He just models love, so you learn how to be loved from him. He's cool. Michael Singer is definitely my vibe, like just letting it go and just allowing life to happen, because it's a big flow and you can't control it anyway. And the more you create a beautiful moment, the more whatever you imagine the future is going to be awesome, because you just keep having a beautiful moment. And when you let go of all that shit out there, then you could just have a beautiful moment and your life continues to be cool. There's some tips for you. Fortify the atmosphere for some lack of inherent reflectivity. Stop. Wait, what? Picked up an earlier comment is time is an illusion. Yeah, absolutely. Like, our view of time, the way we think of it on a linear scale, doesn't even look like, you get outside of your little teeny view on life just for a second and go out in space. When you get into time space and the big stuff, like deep space travel is very hard trigonometry. Because if you're passing by a celestial orb, a planet, something like that, you know, these things floating around in there, and that gravitational field comes into the trajectory of where you think you're going, it bends the fucking time off to the side. So if you're trying to figure out how to get somewhere in deep space, you got to plot all of the spinnies. Because if anything comes by you and you get into the gravitational field of it, you're fucked. Well, not fucked, but it's going to pull you off course. It's going to pull time off course. So your expectation for when you will arrive, like, as soon as you get out of that little teeny view of like, oh, this is my world, like, you're fucked. And that time doesn't even exist in another sense. Like, well, go ahead and like take the events of earlier today and put them in a box for me and ship them to my house. Like, where are they? Nothing but in your mind. You could have woken up right now from a dream. You could be in a dream right now and you have no fucking clue. And what's the future? Oh, Sarah's here. Ooh. Oh, my Lord. It's really pitter pattering right now. Sarah, are the kids here? You tell me the truth. Oh, I got so distracted. Rosie, how you doing? Where's Henry? Guys, it's Henry's half birthday today. He's halfway to 21, exactly. 10 and a half. Stopping in. What's up, peace, love, and hippie? Sending you some good vibes, girl. You take care of yourself. Rosie, how you doing? Yeah, you can't... plotting the spinnies for deep space travel is a shit show. Like, really? That's tricky stuff. Leave that to Elon and things like that. Like, that's... You gotta have a smart noodle to work out that stuff. I mean, it's hard. I've tried it. I'm like... I'll read shit about that, and I'm like, oof. Oh, it hurts me, you know? I'm gonna go skate. Like, that's a toughie, right? And that's still a small view. We have an infinitely expanding universe, because anything we expect, as far as we expect it to go, it's gonna go that far. You'll never hit the end of it, because it manifests as you go. You build a bigger telescope, and you're creating enough faith to create more universe, and you're gonna find what you're looking for. Because that's the nature of the quantum field. And we all get all caught up in contrails like dumbasses. Like, what? Please, people. Get your shit together, you know? Do you think that we as humans never physically been to space or the moon? I don't know. Like, our concept of how far space is or how close it is or how big things are is a real shit show in our little tiny minds. Even the guy that jumped from the edge of space, he was only not that many miles up. And they use wide-angle lenses. So I don't know. Maybe. Who cares? Like, what does that have to do with your moment? Like, what does that have to do with being free and feeling good? Every single thing you're trying to work out in your head is something for you to grok your moment and feel good, right? Everybody's going towards the path of least resistance. Nobody is doing anything that they think is going to hurt them. Everybody is moving in a natural direction, just like water, towards the lowest point. I don't care what you think. Like, you're all moving towards something that you like, you think. So, just be in your moment and enjoy it. You can drive yourself crazy thinking about space stuff, you know? Did we go to the moon? Did we not go to the moon? There's a lot of evidence that looks like it was kind of a shit show with that whole moon landing. But I don't really spend a lot of time on it. Because there's like skating to do and stuff. Like, who fucking cares? Like, why you gotta get all worked up about it? Maybe we did, maybe we didn't. How's that going to affect your life? How's that going to affect you loving people? Like, how's that going to make you happy? And just enjoy it. You're a tiny little energetic microbe on a spinning rock in an infinite void. And you think it's all so serious. And that just really fucks you up. Everything that you're doing, you think is going to lead you towards happiness. You think is going to lead you towards contentment, towards wholeness. So just be happy right now in this moment. Be content in this moment. Be whole right here. Here, I'll do a little spell. You're fucking whole. Completely and totally. And there's nothing more you need to do but to be. And that's all you can do. Because that future you imagine doesn't even exist. You're creating it right now within your moment. Slamada bombada bombada. Done. Good. See? You're happy now. Okay, what are you guys talking about? We all don't know. We only know what we're told that we can know. Yeah, right? So just fucking go skate, you know? Think our main measurement is literally a foot. Yeah, right? That's all of that. The measurement shit, like, it's completely relative. Like, how are you measuring anything? Oh, I'm X amount of feet tall. Like, somebody's foot, some king's foot was like, we gotta measure shit, you know? They used to measure your weight in stones. It's like, well, how much does that stone weigh? I don't know, it's a stone. Well, is there anything to, like, how much does a stone weigh? Well, it's a stone's weight, so we'll say that guy's about 20 stones. And they cleaned it up a little since then, like, came up with some relative measurement at some point in time and said, this is the measurement. And then you just think of it as like, oh yeah, you know, I'm 190 pounds. Where'd the pound come from? From across the pond? Anybody in the UK right here? Are there more wheels or doors? And definitely, that's a good question. That's the kind of question I like to think about. All right, not this other shit. Let's think about it. There's definitely more wheels. There's got to be more wheels. Yeah, there's more wheels, easily. What's up, Katie White Zero? Or is it Katie Whiteo? Can I call you Katie Whiteo? Is that cool? Happiness is a state of mind, and the more you get out of that mind, the more fucked you are, until you get so far out of your mind, you think, you remember to be like, oh, okay, I'm just right here. What I just said is wild. Which part? Contrails? Or when we were talking about the trigonometry of an airfoil? Because there's a lot of wild stuff out there. I mean, think about that. Think about that airfoil. If you weren't here for that, we're going to do it again. You got that airfoil shape like this. It's fantastic. It's phenomenal. Right? A wing shaped like that. And the air hits it and it splits. And this air is trying to catch back up with this air. So this one goes fast, right? Because you're a fucking jet. And this one goes even faster because it has to climb up this hill and come up the other side to meet back up. And so because it's going so fast, it creates this suckage. And it pulls the airplane up in the air. That's some wild shit right there. You guys think about that stuff on a regular basis, daily? I hope so. What's up, Peyton Weber 23? Henry's here now. All right, everybody. We're going to sing Happy Half Birthday to Henry. Everybody? Henry, still here? Babe, check in. I need to know. Waiting for this comment. Yes. Henry, everyone, is a fine young man. Bright as could be. Smarter than most of you. Don't get a big head, Henry. It's his half birthday today. He's 10 and a half. Everybody. Happy half birthday to you. Happy half birthday to you. You're singing along, right? Happy half birthday, dear Henry. Happy half birthday to you. Save me a piece of cake. Hey, how was your steak, Henry? Birthday steak? Yeah. Dude, Henry's a jam. Oh, what's up, Frunky Fresh? It's a good steak. Oh, Becky Joy bringing the Rose Thunder. Whoa, yeah, nice. 11, nice. Becky, you're freaking out. Hello from Denver. Yeah, this is a good jam. All right, what do you guys want me to rant about? Pick a topic, talk amongst yourselves for a second, I'll play guitar. You guys choose what you want me to rant about, and I will rant. I'll just go crazy on it. I'll just rant and rant. It'll be great, I promise you. I'll even make stuff up if I don't know what I'm talking about. Hey, Henry, you're going to what? Stop. You're embarrassing me with all those roses. 20 feet. Stop. Not in front of everybody. I'm going to push. Stop it. I'm going to need you to calm down. Becky and Sarah are having a rose fight right now. I feel like I'm just... Hold on. Babe, I'm going to sacrifice some of the roses you gave me. Because we need to. Ow. Voila. Just pretend that those were the roses you guys sent. And it wasn't me just awkwardly dropping roses on myself. I think they're in my shirt now. Yep. Oh, fuck. There's roses everywhere. It smells delicious, truly. All right. I'm going to save these later for another drop, you know? Just because it's fun. All right, everybody. Talk amongst yourself real quick. Tennis? Damn. You guys are going to town. Thanks, guys. You know what I really like? This is when the wizard hat shows up. I'll do a magic trick if you guys do the wizard hat. Oh, man. Fucking roses everywhere. All right. This is the acceptance. Ooh, that's a good one. But you guys need to talk amongst yourselves first, all right? Becky, I know you dropped some roses here, so that gives you a lot of extra credit. Where's my guitar pick? There's just rose petals everywhere. All right, you guys need to talk amongst yourselves while I play some music, and then we shall rant. You have to come to a decision and work together, all right? you're the official moderator, all right? Because I don't want you hurting your thumbs doing hearts and things like that. Zach is in charge of the final answer, so you guys got to work it out, and Zach's going to tell me because I don't want to have to scroll up on these comments. You guys being cool? Are we talking about ego not being our amigo? Thank you, Becky. Oh wait, Zach. I said Zach. I meant Chris. Zach's not even here tonight. Chris, I'm sorry. I meant to say Chris. Where the fuck's Zach? All right, what are we, enabling our ego? Are we guys talking about ego? Ego is not our amigo? Oh, now I got to scroll back up because I accidentally said Zach, not Chris. I meant Chris. Man. I don't even know who I am anymore. Dimensions, presence, acceptance. Okay. Liberating yourself from the mind. Ooh, peace. Oh, man. Oh, love a good Christianity rant. Ooh. We're talking about government control stuff, so that's just... Don't get me started. I'll just go ape shit. Oh, my gosh. Oh, I'm like sweating just thinking about it because I'm so excited, but... I want to give you guys what you want, you know? Please say Christianity. You knew? Chris, you knew? You knew what I meant. Where's Zach, though? Ego's actualization? What do you mean by actualization? Okay, where are we at? Religion. Oh, you just made a video today about religion. Ooh, I'm gonna check that out. All right, where are we at? Ego is not the amigo. I'm about Christian chat. What's my favorite tea? Well, funny you should ask. I don't know if I have a favorite, but I like it. Got some right here. It's St. Patrick's Day tea. It's not even warm anymore. All right. Oh, what should we talk about? Okay, we'll do Christianity. Oh, wait, what? Okay, first, Christianity. Let's just start at the beginning. First, in the beginning, there was God. Now, there weren't any people, right? Because it was just God, right? So there's this thing of ness. Like, think about something that you cannot define that is infinite and all. Like, don't define it, but just think about it real quick. Did you come up with a visualization of that nothing, everythingness? I hope not, because you can't. Right? You have no fucking clue. And then eventually, then God made an Adam and an Eve. Their names were probably actually Adam and Eve, right? Because we definitely would use, Western names, eons ago. God would have done that. Definitely would have been, anyway. And then he put them in a garden, right? They were butt naked, just butt naked and horny. Because who wouldn't be? It's animals. There's fruit everywhere. Oh, that must have been great, Never die. Just running around naked and just eating fruit. Honestly, sounds really fun. I could get behind that. I'd do that all day long. Just lounging about in the grass, like a grassy little knoll, just berries and stuff. Oh, can you imagine? I hope that had cheeses, because that really makes things better too when the fruit and the cheese is there. Chocolate. Salted caramel. So Adam and Eve were there with some salted caramel in the garden. And then, for some reason, even though when God was like making all the shit, he's like, all right. On the first day, he was like, nothingness. And then he was like, from my nothingness, I'm going to make a thing. Nothingness. Then you got like dark and light, and then you got some like earth and water and stuff. And God is definitely going to base the entirety of the story off of just the earth. Like, just only things that the ego can understand, right? Because we're only going to be able to understand this through our perspective. So he's only going to make the earth, and then like the stars and shit, but whatever. Let's just focus on the garden, like what we can, So he's going to do that. That's in the first part of the Christian book. And then, anyway, we get to the part where everybody's just naked and they live forever. Which seems catastrophic, if you ask me. Like, just systematically catastrophic, because I don't think they knew about, like, birth control. And you could see how this would go, like, horribly wrong quickly. So it was a bad plan, because there'd be a lot of people after like 1,000 years of not dying. Think about that. Somebody do the math real quick. I know somebody's smart. Do that. How many babies can you have in a year? I mean, in any like given like period, when your body doesn't, there's no like physical sickness or anything like that. Everything's perfect. You can just keep pumping them out, just shooting everywhere, and it doesn't hurt. It's all everything's all perfect, like cute as shit. So there's got to be a lot of them, right? Like rabbits. Maybe not like as many as rabbits would happen, because rabbits, there's multiples, and we had some triplets in here earlier, but just give it, just do the math yourself, work that one out. So God's got to figure it out, I guess, and he introduces this concept of sin. What do we got? 4 babies every 3 years. Okay, cool. So do the math. That's like babies to a higher power, just give it 1,000 years. If anybody can do that math real quick, 4 babies every 3 years, and then just say 50% of those babies, so 2 every 3 years, a female, so then you could 1,333 babies over 1,000 years? Wait, no, that doesn't seem like Sculler 15. That doesn't seem, it seems like there'd be way more babies than that. Are you missing a 0 or a 3 or a couple zeros? No. You can't account for death because nobody dies in the garden situation. Like, it's perfect, remember? No deaths. Everybody just lives. It's a perfect little utopia. And despite the fact that it was just Adam and Eve and everybody's like kind of doing the Game of Thrones-y relative thing for a little while, just let's not think into it too deep. Anyway, so a snake comes along and he was like, hey, I'm a snake, yeah. But he's a devil snake. He's not just any old snake. He's the actual devil. 1,733 times 10 to the 18th power. I don't know if that's right, but 1.73. I'm going to, just because it seems really, like I really like the way that equation looked there, so I'm just going to say whatever that was, that's it. So anyway, we have a lot of babies, so we got to like wipe some out. We're going to send a snake in. This story gets so confusing if you actually think about it. It's really a shit show. So even though it was all perfect, day one, God made some shit and it was good. It was real good, And it's like, cool, day two. That was good. And God said it was good. Because he made it, of course. He was like, da 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 da, mix in a little bit of human flesh, stir it up. Yeah, that's good, It's kind of egotistical, but that's cool. And then, just out of nowhere, like he decides that that's not good enough, this whole perfect garden situation. He makes some angels too, I guess. And then the angels getting like that same, it was basically the same gang fight from Anchorman, where Ben Stiller shows up. ¿Cómo estás, bitches? It's a situation like that in heaven with the angels. Lucifer, being a real, he was the angel of music. He was like noodling around and stuff. He's like, I'm way cooler than you, God. I'm going to take over this bitch. God, this story's so confusing if you think about it. Because why would God make angels that are going to be dicks, right? If everything's all good and perfect, like what? Why? And so God's like, no, get on out of heaven, wherever that was. You got to go to earth, this perfect place I made with these perfect people. Rick, where'd you get a hand grenade? You pretty killed a guy. You should lay low for a little while. So, let's see what happens next. I'm in Encinitas, technically rural Lucadia, but what happens next in this story? So then Lucifer and all the devils. No, they weren't devils. They were just they were angels. They were all beautiful angels. Lucifer was the most beautiful angel. But then I guess there was when he came through the atmosphere of Earth, like the spaceship, he didn't have the ceramic heat shields on him. He was just an angel, just give him a break. It was pretty gentle. Probably was a lame fight too, They're all floating around on clouds and they're like, stop it. Slap fight, more of a slap fight than an actual epic battle that you would think, but it was more of a slap fight. So when he came through the atmosphere, because he didn't have a proper heat shield, because he was just an angel, all his feathers burned off, and he was just left with this burnt up red skin stuff. I think, because that's definitely what the pictures show. And then but then he's a snake, so just track with the story here, just follow along. And he goes slithering, and he's like, what's up, Eve? Because God was very patriarchal because he was a dude, so he's definitely going to blame this on the chicks because he can't deal. So Lucifer's doing his thing. He's like, what's up? Hey, if you eat from this tree, eat the fruit there. Oh, I think God told him don't eat the fruit from that tree. He made everything everything is perfect. This garden is perfect. Everybody chill. Don't eat that tree, though. That's not perfect. That'll fuck you up. And then Lucifer's like, hey, if you want to know what's up, you want to know some secret teachings, check out that apple tree or pomegranate tree, or maybe it was a mango tree. You never know. Maybe it was an avocado. Maybe it was just a tomato, because aren't they considered fruits? Aren't they in the fruit family? Somebody fill me in there. It could have just been a regular old tomato tree, which is like, I would consider in the Garden of Eden where everything didn't die. Those tomato plants would get big, you know? Very tree-like. So it very well could have been just a regular old tomato. So she eats it and she's like, damn, that tomato's good. Adam, check it out. And he was like, she was naked. So he was like, what? You sure? So he eats it. And then all of a sudden they realize they're naked. I'm literally telling the story out of the Bible here. Moderate embellishments. And then because it's a patriarchal society somehow, even though it's perfectly, he's like, God shows up and he's like, guys, what you doing? What you doing, you bad baddies? You're bad. You've been naughty. I know it. I'm God. And they're like, he's like, it was the woman. It's not fucked up. Like, for real. It's so screwed up. Sir, you know, like, where's, like, bro, like, really? You're just gonna chuck her under the bus like that? Like, instantly? Like, first move? You're not gonna, like, stand up for your lady, like, for, like, not even a second? Just instantly, like, no, I was, you know? The one with the tits, like, it was definitely her. Like, it's just... So I want to try to keep accurate here. So, what happened next? Anyway, God kicks them out of the garden, and they start to die, and it's not great anymore. Sin enters the world. And what is sin but the knowledge of good and evil? Like, what is the knowledge of good and evil? What is the separation from God? Wouldn't that be to say that, in this perfect thing that is created, all of this beauty that is absolutely perfect, there is no evil, to think, that there is something bad within all of this beauty. So wouldn't the knowledge of good and evil be the perception that you are outside of God? Wouldn't, I guess, the original sin be to think that you are separate from the all, energetically speaking, maybe all of it flowing through you, being one with source? So I guess sin was just the ego of man to say, I'm different than... That garden does sound kind of lame, right? Because what is life without polarity? Truly. Like, it would be boring as shit, right? I mean, the fruit's good, but then it's just, like, boring. Because what is the difference between good tasting and not good tasting if you don't know what not good tasting is, you know? Like, how can you have light without darkness? How can you see anything if it's just all light? There's nothing to contrast it. It's just a wash, you know? It's like boring, totally boring. It would suck. Like, imagine just infinite whiteness and nothing is anything other than white, and all of your feelings are all just pure everything. Like, if you just have one thing, it's... Anyway, so the serpent was... Well, I don't know. It doesn't matter. I don't know what in the story. So anyway, I guess the original sin would be to think that they were separate somehow. So it's an allegory, you know, because the story doesn't make any shit sense, like, at all. And then you go down a little ways in history, and you have different times of, you know, people doing stuff. You got different events and things happen, and then all of a sudden there's little baby J-Dog laying in a manger. No crib for a bed. Doing little baby things. somehow conceived through some kind of immaculate stuff. You know, it was immaculate. Oh, this story is so hard to explain because it doesn't make sense if you think about it. So anyway, we got this immaculate business, and there's Jesus, or at least the thought of it. And then Jesus is growing up, I guess, but there's no record of that. There's nothing in there. And then all of a sudden he's 12, 13, 12? I think he's 12, and he's at the temple, and he rolls up into the temple, right? And there's all these, you know, priesty dudes, beardy guys. All these guys that look exactly like God, right? Or at least how they say God looks. It's almost like they were making an idol of themselves, knowing on this deep level that they are that. So they just perceived God as a man. Because we got this bullshit patriarchal society, like, God forbid God have some titties, you know? It's like not allowed to be a woman, it's just a beardy man. Because everybody's got a beard. Because they don't have any razors, because it's kind of, you know, Stone Age vibes. There's not a lot of real sharpness, so they just grow beards, because that's what their faces naturally do, and they haven't figured out how to shave it off and get a sick stash. If they knew how to do it, they definitely, God would have had a mustache. But we didn't figure that out till later. Okay, what happened then? And then Jesus disappears for a while, 20-something years. No record of him, right? Some people say that he was a carpenter, which is, historically speaking, culturally and historically, and all of that, there wasn't a trade of carpentry in the area. Jerusalem, Bethlehem, all that stuff. The Middle East, because it's all the desert and there's just stones. Like, if you look to the pyramids of Egypt, you don't find a lot of chairs and wooden things. It's pretty stony. So weird trade to have at the time. You know, he must have been, I mean, import prices on the wood would have been, that must have been horrible, you know? Really tough. So somehow he's a carpenter. He must have sucked, though, because there's not a single, like, nobody talks about Jesus chairs. Like, have you ever heard about the chairs he built? And any carpenter is going to be, like, pretty proud of their chairs, and there'd be some stories about it if there were these immaculate chairs. Never heard a thing. So that's an oddity. I honestly don't know where the whole carpenter thing came from. And then what happened next? Oh, then he shows back up at 33. Jesus is back on the scene. And he's just kicking ass and taking names. He's doing like some wizard shit. He's really killing it. He's loving everybody. He's out meditating in the desert. Doing Reiki on people. Stuff. Real yogi type stuff. You know, he's doing some magic. He's healing people. He's bringing people to life. It's like he shows them a new way of saying, hey, like, guys, you don't gotta go with all this bullshit, all these Pharisees and the way that the government is telling it you must be, and you don't gotta believe in these contrails and stuff like that. And it's almost like he brings people alive, like emotionally, and the light comes back on in their eyes. He's got some wizard powers for sure. He's definitely doing some tricks and turns water into wine. And there's actually old engravings on some churches that Rome didn't destroy. You can see some pictures of them. They really wiped out a lot of it because Rome didn't like that stuff because it healed people and it set them free, and they didn't care about the government anymore, so they wouldn't pay their taxes because they were like, this is stupid. I'm just going to love people. I don't need to fight with everybody, but neither here nor there. And so there's these old engravings of him all getting busy doing magic tricks with like a wizard, like straight up wizard wand, like he's doing tricks, you know? It's like nothing in my hand. And he puts the wine in his hand. Get in there. See? He shoves it on in there. Very carefully. Jams it in. And it's gone. And he's like, nothing in this hand. Nothing in this hand. And then and everyone's like, oh, shitballs, you know? They really don't know what to do with that kind of stuff. But he's really loving people hard. Just really, really doing the thing. And people are not giving a shit about the man anymore. In fact, he's even like getting kind of pissed at all the Pharisees and making fun of them all the time. Just blasting them. Just busting up all the dogmas. He's just like, no, guys, like, this is stupid. Even to the point where, I mean, we're talking, this is the middle of the Roman Empire, right? Middle of the Roman Empire. This is like 600 and something years into a 1,000-year reign. Hey, you going to sock on? These nuts? Seriously, guys. This is old talk. I'm going to burn some sage after that one. Yeah, so, I mean, the Romans, it's like, I mean, we're talking like, you ever see Star Wars? It's literally like the Empire. Like, think of, I mean, the United States has been around for, what, 300 some years or something like that? It's a shit show. And we've been trying to, like, kind of trying to be cool for the most part. We haven't been, like, this dominant, like, we're going to take everything over. Rome was like, no, fuck it. We're going to kill this shit, you know? You belong to us. I mean, they even established, like, they were, like, worse than the USSR. Like, when that was a thing, you know? They were really not cool about stuff. So this is right in the middle of that, right? And so Jesus is right in the middle of this shit show. This is for the sock on. Done. Yeah, we already talked about the chemtrails. You're going to have to back this shit up. We'll get back to it. So Jesus is like, guys, there's not any chemtrails. Like, shut the fuck up. That's basically was his message. He's like, just, it's you and how you perceive everything and just love people, you know? And he's got this real cool view on life. Real cool. He's like hanging out with the disciples and he's teaching people like, hey, blessed are the meek, you know? You're not demanding that everybody be something. You just it's all cool, you know? Blessed are the peacemakers. Right? In the middle of this Roman Empire, like the middle of it. They're all getting all hacky with their swords, you know? You've seen those movies. They get real hacky, stabby-like. And then he's talking about weird shit like that, like being nice and chill and like loving people. And to do that, you gotta really love yourself. And let's see what else happened. Oh yeah, they bring him a, you know, because they're all tied up. Everyone's all worked up into the system, you know, because the Rome. I mean, the Romans were not like, there was way more people than the Romans, but they got them beat, you know, mentally. They got them beat up here. So Jesus is kind of like undermining all of that, right? And the Pharisees come to him. They were like the people who knew what was up at the time, you know, religious leaders and stuff. They weren't Christians. It was like Judaism and things like that. And they're like, well, Jesus, do you think you're so smart? Who should we pay our taxes to, God or Rome? Who should we give our money to? And Jesus is like, deep sigh. You know, he's like, let me see the coin. His face is on the coin. He looks at the coin. This is a guitar pick, not a coin, but you get the idea. And he's like, whose face is on there? And then like, Caesar. And he's like, well, just give to Caesar what's Caesar's and God's what's God's. Like, don't, shut the fuck up. Like, he was like, don't give it, like, what does it matter? Like, just to live your life, you know? Go love people. You guys are missing the point. And what else? He's like floating in the air and stuff at one point. Oh, that was after they killed him and he came back. Anyway, so he's doing all these magic tricks and things. Real cool stuff, you know? Bringing people to life, casting out demons. Here's what's cool about that. When I've done trauma care and trauma release sessions and my emotional alchemy sessions, and I've helped people pass through these like really horrible old memories and feelings and stuff like that. Yeah, Caesar is wanting a lot these days. And he's going to get it from you. He's just going to raise the gas prices on you and lower the value of your dollar if you don't pay up. He's just going to manipulate the whole system. Anyway, neither here nor there. What was I talking about? Something very important. The devil? No? Yes. No? Yes. I forgot. I had a point, but it's gone now. One of the things that's interesting about this whole thing is the whole point when Jesus was missing, like from 12 to 33, when he started coming with during sessions, thank you. There's all these reports in India of this like Christ character that was in India, like studying yogic traditions, which have all of these like healing kind of witchy things going on. You know, neither here nor there. In sessions, thank you, Chris. I don't know what I'd do without you. In session work, I've helped people pass through their like some real deep traumas. Heavy shit. Heavy childhood wounds, rape stuff, just really nasty things. And man, when you're passing through the emotions of that, it is like these people are possessed. They are just thrashing about and weeping and you know, it's real dramatic, like very dramatic. Never seen anything like it. It's almost like they're possessed, right, by a spirit of some old memory that's been trapped in their body. Weird, huh? And I know this guy was a former minister and an exorcist for the Catholic Church. He's done over 3,000 exorcisms, like gone to people's houses and exorcised demons. And talking to him, he's one of my clients. He's like, we are of the same mind. He's like, yeah. He's like, it's just trauma. He's like, I realized that I didn't even have to say like the holy words or do any of the things. He's like, it's just like an energy work with my hands. And he's like, they're passing trauma, like these old memories, the energy of it in their body. There's no demons. It's just literally just trauma. Like emotional trauma and stuff. Like this is like the work I do in emotional alchemy sessions, helping people move that stuff through their body. And so it's like Jesus is helping people heal from their traumas and bringing them back to life when they were all locked up and miserable and with dark eyes and not able to feel the world around them and to feel the beauty, and they were so scared in their trauma and so disassociated that they were separate from God in a way. They were apart from the whole because they were so scared that they had energetically like blocked everything out because it hurt so bad from all the bullshit that had happened to them that they said no. So Jesus is there like pouring rose petals on them and stuff. Like, everything's cool. Just kidding. He didn't do that. But I had these rose petals here, so I figured it'd be a good illustration. And so he was doing all this cool stuff like that, and there's all these old pictures that the Romans didn't actually destroy of him with a wand. And it's weird, in all the readings and stuff I've done in ancient shit, weird shit, there's all sorts of accounts of wandings and wizardly shit, historically speaking, in these ancient traditions. Well, the problem was everybody started getting free, and they started like not giving a shit about Rome, which didn't really have as tight of a grip as they thought, right? So Jesus was kind of fucking shut up for them. Everyone's like, I don't know, I'm not gonna pay my taxes. This is dumb. Love the petals? Okay, we'll do more petals. You guys like the petals? When I was an active alcoholic, I had something driving the car. I was blacked out a lot. Dark, yeah. Yeah, your human vehicle, yeah. Okay, we're going to get, during sessions, yes. Alchemy, yes. I'll talk about emotional alchemy sessions and stuff like that. So anyway, Jesus was like, Everyone love each other. And get your trauma all up out of here and be free. And then here's a weird one, right? He finally pissed off all the religious leaders so much that they were like, this guy is an asshole and we don't like him because he's really messing with us every day and nobody respects us anymore and nobody's paying their money to us and this sucks. So they're like, we got to kill him. And he's calling him out big time, right? He's got some yogic powers. He's tapping in on their thoughts. He knows. He fucking knows. You know, he's calling them out on their bullshit. Oh, they were pissed. They were just pissed as shit. Oh, that must have been great. Just fucking him up. And then they crucified him, right? And did you know who was in charge of that crucifixion? The Romans. Right? Because there was the empire. Like, the Jews didn't have any control. They were just a small sect of people that were under the Roman Empire, which controlled, like, the majority of the globe. They didn't control, the East. And they didn't control India. It's interesting that now, even in modern day, that the East has different religions of oneness, and India has different religions of oneness. And they have different traditions within these religions, but it's totally different than any of the Christianity stuff. We'll get back to that. And so they're like, we got to kill this guy. And there's stories about why they had to kill him. But if you actually look back historically under Roman tabla, which were the laws, like the 12 tablas, and in an empire like that, they get their laws like think of the United States. Like, I mean, we're a shit show and we still got some laws and we got like our Supreme Court and stuff. And it's like, eventually you get to the end of the law and somebody's going to be like, this is what the law says. Like, sorry, bro. Well, they executed him with crucifixion. I mean, stick him up on a cross. And it's a real gruesome situation. But what's weird in the Roman tablas is the only thing under Roman rule, under Roman laws, that you could be crucified for. The only infraction that would justify crucifixion, are you ready for this? Witchcraft. Magic. Doing magic and witchcraft and shit. So they crucified Jesus as a witch because the Romans were in control. That just strikes me as a little odd, Just seems weird that all of the same stuff he was doing that would be considered witchcraft, and then the same stuff that when the Roman Catholic Church, which was the religious branch of the Holy Empire of Rome, or the Holy Roman Empire, which they started the Roman Catholic Church. So let me just work into this a little bit. So the Holy Roman Empire, it's towards the end of their reign. They're like 700 years in. This is like 300 years or something after Christ's death. And everything's kind of going to shit, right? Because they're way overextended. Like, they've just overextended the fuck out. They got real big for their britches. Like, look at the United States. Like, what a shit show. Like we can barely keep it. And they had way more territory than this. And they didn't even have, like, the internet or phones or none of that. They got, like, horse messengers. And they got the Pony Express situation going on here. So it was real hard to keep that shit together. They had to really, real firm rule. A lot of swords. A lot of hacking. Very hacky. So it's all falling apart, right? As you could imagine, a situation like that, everybody finally wises up and they're like, wait a minute, this is stupid. Like, I'm out. A lot of uprisings and stuff. And they gotta bust this shit up because there's uprising. The peasants are now not paying their taxes, and they just really, it's getting out of control. So they start the Roman Catholic Church, which was kind of a religious branch of the Holy Roman Empire. You could maybe look at that as a system of political control, because what they did there is they said, here are the rules you have to follow. Otherwise, you're going to, like, burn in hell for eternity. So they really had to kind of double down on the sword thing. Wasn't really working anymore. So they had to kind of change strategies a little bit. And so what they did is they just wiped out all of the religions of the time. They built their holy site on the Vatican right on. Do you get this? They built the Vatican right on the primary religious site for paganism, which was the religion of the time. They were like, nope, paganism. Like, we can't have that. We can't have everybody being free and like just being at one with everything. Like, we gotta just get a little choppy with you, and we're gonna just build our church right here. No big deal. So they built that all up, because of the Romans. I mean, they got a lot of stones to play with and a lot of slaves and things like that, because they've got a lot of swords, and you get the idea. So they built that thing, and they couldn't have all the other religions because it was the empire, right? Think Star Wars here. They're doing the choke thing, but it was more like stab them with a sword. And so they just wipe out all the religions, the Gnostics. And at this time now, this is like 300 years after Christ's death. They had already killed him, and now it's falling apart. So they're like, "Hey, we got to do something about this." And all of the Christians, the different sects of Christianity, the people that had learned from Jesus in one way or another, had kind of gone off and doing their own things. And there was an illiterate culture, so it was just oral tradition passed down. Oh, this is what the teaching was. And you can look at this in like modern day like forms of yoga and stuff, like all the different varieties of yoga. And I mean, even like you look at something like Kundalini is a pretty recent form of yoga. Yogi Bhaja, he goes and makes it up based on some, tantric and yogic positioning and philosophies and stuff. He makes up his own thing and makes up new words, and it's just kind of variants. And that's modern day stuff. That's not like campfire tradition in a society that doesn't really understand things on a more technical level, because everybody's just kind of feeling things, and they see things in this real allegorical sense of death to life, very much like the cycle of the sun going behind the earth and coming up and coming to life. And they see a lot of like everything's sort of pictures and stuff, because allegories, because there's nobody writes anything down. There's no books. It's an illiterate culture at the time. The only people that can read and write are the the upper class. They're like the 1%ers. They have the scribes and stuff, and the Romans and things like that. And there's a lot of like ancient teachings from Judaism and things and stuff that people have been following, different traditions they've followed a long time, and different writings from different religions at the time. So Rome takes, kind of the primary teachings from all of these different traditions, and is like, all right, guys, like, fuck off. We're going to just do it one way. We're going to simplify everything. We're going to kind of standard. They love the standardization. I mean, if you think about they love standardizing everything, because it made sense. They had this big old empire they had to take care of, and if they didn't have standards, then, like Roman standards kind of thing, then it would just be a shit show. And if you look at like modern day, like the railway tracks in the United States, like how wide are the railroad tracks? Do you guys know? Something like 4 feet, 9 inches and a little bit, or 6 inches and a half, something like that. It's not necessarily a like the most like efficient size. Like you could have some trains tipping over less. You could actually have them going faster on corners and things like that if it was like a little wider wheelbase. It would be way more efficient if it was a little bit. But it's just the standard we've had since we built the trains. The train tracks, we laid them like that. Before train tracks were really a thing, when we first started doing it was just, okay, we're going to do it this size. And why did they do the train tracks that size? Well, because the wagons, obviously, that they were using to carry all the supplies, the donkey carts, had a certain wheel width. And they're like, well, we're not going to rebuild all these fucking wagons. We got to retrofit them to fit on these tracks, so we're just going to make them the same size. And railroads weren't like a real big thing. There was no standards for them yet. They were just sort of making them up at the time. And, why were the donkey carts that size? Well, obviously because all the wagons of the day were that size, because they had them all standardized. Because, you got wheelwrights and stuff, like making these things out of wood with like kind of primitive-ish tools, and you're just going to keep it the same fucking width. You're not going to change that. And why were all the wagons that size? Well, because they came over from Europe. Obviously, like there wasn't like, we didn't show up on some boats and be like, oh, here's a wagon, cool, we'll just do it like that. So they kept it the same size because that's what the width of the axles, and they didn't have a lot of tools and stuff. They didn't like bring all the gear with them. That's kind of limited on the boats, and you got to pack your undies and some fruit and stuff, and you don't have a lot of space. And why were those wagons that size? Because they came over from Europe, Well, why were all the wagon wheels that width? The axles, why were they that width? Well, because obviously the Roman roads had all these ruts in them. Because remember, they didn't have the internet, so they had all these messenger boys in their chariots running around. And the Romans were kind of advanced. They had actual, steel-belted wheels, and they would grind down these cobblestones. And the Romans built all the roads because they were like, we gotta standardize this. We gotta put some freeway systems in. They love their standards, so they made them all the same width, so they wouldn't break an axle wheel or axle hub. So there's some Roman standards coming down culturally. We're still using Roman standards every day. You have food delivered to your house, like to the grocery store, from Roman standards, like something that, like culturally speaking, came from Rome, just because that's the way we've always done it. So anyway, Rome was like, we're going to standardize all of these religions, and so they took a lot of elements of paganism, things like the Christmas tree and stuff like that. And they said, okay, we can't have this, like, we're going to, like, make one central figure here. And this guy Jesus really started some shit. And a lot of people really love him. So we'll just make him, like, kind of the pinnacle of this tradition because everybody's following him. And they really liked this guy because he really taught people how to love people. And he really, really showed some love. And then they took all the pagan traditions because they didn't want to piss off the pagans. They said, hey, it's cool. Like, you can still have your earth worship and stuff, and we'll add all these elements in there, and we'll put the incense in there, and we'll put the candles in there and stuff like that. All your little witchcraft things. But you're not allowed to do witchcraft, and witchcraft had been outlawed at the time. They had killed all the witches by this time. I mean, they had they crucified Jesus as a witch, and they had killed off all the witches, and they did their crusades of smash and bash and smashing every other religion that was fighting back, saying, no, we have to have our way, because, it was the empire. And but they gave everybody some, like, token elements within Roman Catholicism. So the empire was like, no, this is the traditions that you will follow. And then they took all of the ancient teachings from different areas, different people that had written stuff down, from Judaism and just other traditions from Israel and things like, or Egypt and stuff like that, and they added all sorts of things in from paganism and a lot of Jesus's teachings and stuff like that. And they basically took, like, letters that people had written to each other. This group had written a letter to this group, and they compiled all that into one, like, guidebook for the religion. They said, this is the guidebook that we have for this religion. And when they compiled all that in, what was that, like the 3rd century, 300? So it was kind of 300 years or so. The first canonization after Christ's death was the first canonization of the Holy Bible. And so they had taken writings that were in Greek, Hebrew, and Aramaic, and they compiled them all together into one standardized book to say, this is the way this religion works. And so they wiped out Gnosticism and paganism and Druidism and these traditions, but they gave them little token bits within Roman Catholicism. And they said, hey, if you guys don't follow this, like, we're literally gonna, well, like, they burned down all the other shit. Like, they smashed and bashed and did this stuff. And they just said, we're only going to do Roman Catholicism because it's the fucking empire and it's all falling apart. So they really need to do something about it. So what they did, introduced this interesting concept at that time as a system of control. They said, okay, this original sin concept that Jesus never talked about. It wasn't introduced till 300 years after his death, of, like, that if you don't follow these rules, you will go to hell. So they came up with this concept of hell. And they came up with this concept of, separation from God. If you search for the knowledge of good and evil, if you try to even look outside of this tradition into the secret teachings, you're going to burn. This is the infallible word of God. This is what God said. And if you don't follow this guidebook, you will literally burn in hell, because the sword wasn't working anymore. Like, you will be dead for eternity. Now, keep in mind, this is an illiterate culture. You know what I mean? You guys saw Monty Python and the Holy Grail. This is the peasants out there digging in the muck and stuff like that. It's not a real advanced society. Nobody can read and write. And they put these men as an image of God in these fancy robes with a beard and things like that. And they say, here is God. You must follow this figure of God. Which is why we get the Catholic tradition of like the Pope, and stuff like that. Like, this is like the incarnation of God, basically. That's where that tradition came from. And nobody could read or write, so you had this God figure, this mythical God figure, in this beautiful robe with some jewels and stuff and a funny hat, up in this very big pulpit for these people that were not so advanced, teaching these teachings that were compiled from all the religions. So it seemed familiar, but it's not like all these religions were standardized, because people were just kind of doing their own thing, because they didn't really have any guidebooks or anything like that, because it was just like nobody could read or write, And so you have this whole situation going on where you're going to definitely burn in hell if you do not follow our rules. And they're like, well, they're also going to stab us with a sword if we don't do that, so let's just go along with this. And eventually that tradition kind of pervaded society, and they got their way, because they literally just killed everybody that didn't agree with them. And they were like, don't look into any secret teachings, You're not allowed to. You're not allowed to look into anything. You know what the word for secret teachings is? Occult or occultism. That just means secret teachings. And so they put this flair of it within Christianity of occultism, like, ooh, it's bad and naughty. Well, I mean, what is occultism but just teachings that you don't know of, like the secrets, feeling into things. What is out there? What is this God? And so they created the original sin of the separation of God. You are separate from this. And do not look outside of this tradition. Do not even look towards occultism. Anything else does not exist anymore. And this is the only thing that you will acknowledge. And then, just like the railroad tracks that we have now, it's been passed down after generation and generation. People still believe that shit. All that garden shit. Can you believe it? It's wild, huh? But that's what tradition gets you, We're just following Roman tradition. You guys got any questions on that? What are you guys talking about? Oh, you guys are going to town. I'm not reading all this shit. Somebody give me a summary. The killer rabbit and the holy hand grenade. Okay, that's the only thing we need to remember. That's all you need to remember. Does anyone have any questions on Christianity? I can get the Bible. It's sitting right over there by my books on witchcraft. You ever stub your toe? That's a relevant comment. I don't know what you guys are talking about. But it is false. We are gods ourselves, fractals of source. Yeah, well, here's the thing. Just like, God is this man, beardy guy, because the dudes that are in charge are the dudes, it's like patriarchal society bullshit, because everybody's scared of feminine energy, like the force of fucking creation, like God forbid, that's something you got to take care of when you're a bunch of small dick, big truck guys and driving your big truck chariot around. You gotta not allow any of that feminine energy in there, because it's scary as shit, Moses lived to be 350 years old. Yeah. Well, that's not my God. God is the source and feminine energy. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Christianity was... Okay, let's see. It's all about extraterrestrials. Okay. The Nephilim is Norse. Oh, yeah, and that's an interesting one, too. You had Enoch, Elisha, Enoch. There was two characters of history that quantum tunneled into time and space, right? Somehow. They were here on the plane, and then they were no more. They ascended, or they just vanished into heaven, right? So Enoch walked with God, and then he was kaput. Nobody knows what happened. He just quantum tunneled off into another. It's kind of like the yogis guys do, those characters of lore that you'll have hikers out in the Himalayas, and you'll find a group of these old yogis meditating together up in the snow, just in ropes. Like, no way they could have gotten there. See them appear in different spaces and stuff like that. And Enoch, though, within the tradition of Christianity, had walked with God and he was no more. They didn't want to put the book Enoch in the Bible because that got a little bit weird. It was a little bit too much Norse tradition of the Nephilim, things like that, the giants that roamed the land. And did you know that there are, look it up, the Smithsonian used to have skeletons of giants, and they destroyed them. You could see pictures of them online. Like actual big fucking giants, like big old skulls, big old human bones and stuff like that. So that was probably like the Nephilim in the Book of Enoch, but it just didn't grok with the Catholic Church and stuff like that. They were trying to like kind of strip back the religions to the basics. Here's a neat one about Jesus' teachings. You ready for this one? In this illiterate society where they passed tradition on a campfire, did you hear about this Jesus guy? Oh, he did this, he did that. You can see how things would get sensationalized. The first synoptic book of the gospel that was written was not written until 55 to 70 years after Christ's death. Campfire tradition. And a man that was doing some magic, he was crucified for witchcraft, who was a man of love, yogic powers and things like that, some cities. So of course it's going to be a little fucking sensationalized after 55 to 70 years of people talking about someone they love so dearly. Anyway, the entire thing's a shit show. Can I sensationalize that hack? Hell yeah. Ever heard of the crystal skulls that were found on every continent? I've heard of it. I haven't looked into it, though. The basis of every religion is love. Yep. The giants lived in the center of the flat earth now. Jack and the Beanstalk. They sure did. Real ones. And let's not even talk about Bigfoot. Oh, yeah, we can get crazy now. Water making the frogs. Oh, you guys are talking about some stuff. Was that a good rant? You guys like that rant? It wasn't really ranty, was it? It was more storytelling rant. Did anybody learn anything neat about that? Hey, you can feel free to share. Chris, I know you loved it. Gosh, just come hang out, dude. Excellent. Yeah, we did start at the beginning, didn't we? Isn't that a wild story? I love that garden one. Everyone's all naked, live forever, having sex with your sister, eating some fruit that separates you from God because God created shit angels that rebelled against him, but everything was good, though there was sin, and it really gets stupid. Let's just admit it. It's stupid as shit. Like, it doesn't make any sense. It's almost like a bunch of ancient traditions kind of tried to make sense of things and told some neat stories to tell to their children, to like, oh, this is how the world works, kids. And they didn't really have like science. And then because of that deep cultural programming of Rome, like, you're going to get stabbed. And think about how stabby Christians are. Like, if there's Christians on here listening, there's this gut reaction for devout Christians. When I say stuff like this, they're just like, ah, they don't want to stab me. Like, if I did that talk, like, somewhere in the Bible Belt, like at a comedy club or something like that, they'd throw shit, maybe shoot me. Like, think about it. Think about how that ingrained culture of Rome of like, now we'll fucking stab you if you don't believe this. Ooh, what do I think of zodiac signs and astrology? Witchcraft. Study theology of the Bible. Not all Christians I studied the theology of the Bible, technically, if you're wondering. I went to seminary and Learned a proper exegetical process. I didn't learn any of that stuff within it in seminary. Yep. Oh yeah. No. Christians have nothing to do with Christ. I mean, just look at like, churchianity. Like American Christianity kind of thing. It's like Jesus is this immigrant, brown-skinned immigrant. And if there's one thing we fucking hate in America, it's brown-skinned immigrants. Like, what? This doesn't seem like anything Jesus was talking about. Like, where's the meekness? Oh, were you the one that stubbed your toe earlier? Maybe you broke it. It does threaten their identity. Well, you got to consider when you feel like I'm going to burn in hell, I'm going to die for eternity, and where there's weeping and gnashing of teeth and all that stuff, like a lot of teeth gnashing, like, people get pretty freaked out about that. So. No, I was not raised Mormon, no. I was just sort of a former worship leader here. You ready for some worship? We're going to sing some church songs right now. Oh, Lord, I lift your name on high. I can't do it. I'm seriously feeling a little barfy. Get ready for the key of G. Everything's in G. Name a church song. Everybody start naming the church songs. I'll play them. What's some good ones? Nirvana. I was a worship leader for a long time. I played since like junior high till, yeah. He is jealous from me. Oh, yeah. When the music fades, all is stripped away. Simply come. Was that Tomlin? I knew a lot of these guys when I was doing my music business. Most of them were drunk assholes, like, honestly. They were hurting units. I'd meet them up on tour. They're hurting units. Red Hot Chili Peppers. Okay. Any thoughts on being alone? Recently got sober and don't have many friends anymore. Good work getting sober. I appreciate that. When you change... Oh, King's Kaleidoscope. That's some old shit. Who are you? That's some old shit right there. Dylan. Dill? Can I call you Dill? Newsboys, yeah. Smoke the Ganj. I don't remember that church song, but... Okay, listen. What's your name, brother? Tinker Pants. Tucker. I followed you. Just so we can be friends, all right? Because I don't want you to be alone. Excuse me. As I have progressed in my journey of life, I have lost many friends groups. And you become a new energy, new kind of person, and you make friends that are the same kind of person. So just do your fucking thing, bro. You're good. Just be rad. Be rad as who you are, and you will absolutely attract other people that are rad, And yeah, the people that have to... God, I got church songs stuck in my head now. All those people are going to try to drag you back in. Lobsters in a bucket, right? They got like the same nervous system as we do on the baseline, Yeah, dude, you just gotta shift out of it. You're doing okay, dude. I believe in you. And truly, like, even in my own like journey of becoming a better not better, just like a different person, like the person I am now, man, it really freaks some people out. We weren't even drinking, like they just couldn't deal. Just like Some old friends groups I had, like really good friends, are just like real weird with me. New path, new friends are coming. I like that. Yeah, give Tinker Pants some love here, guys. He's doing good work. He's changing his life. Don't get dragged back in. How to heal from a trauma bond. Katie, what do you, I mean... It's always a choice to change. Do this. Choose to be a new person. And everything, all those little thoughts in your head that are like, no, you can't be this new person. You gotta go back, or whatever it is. Ask yourself, get real quiet with yourself and be like, why? What's up, bitch? Like, why? Why you gotta be like that? And then this little thing will tell you, like, oh, because of this. Yeah, keep asking yourself, well, why? Like, why would I go back to that? Oh, because of this. And you just keep being like a toddler, asking yourself over and over, like, why would you be like that? And these like little answers will come up, these little feelings, something of you that you haven't accepted within yourself, right? Well, I need because this completes me. And it's like, well, why don't you complete you? Like, your thought of completion in that relationship was no more than your thought of completion. And you can see now clearly that is not what completed you. And it was the space in you that you need to learn to fill within yourself. If any of you guys need help working through shit like that, and you want to do an emotional alchemy session, that is what I do for my day job. And that's what keeps the videos coming to everybody. You can just hit up my little website. Links in my profile. And if you're not following this and you've been listening to these rants, definitely follow this profile, because it's the best one on TikTok. At least it's the best profile I have on TikTok. Never had another profile, so that's really kind of a moot point, you know? It's the only one I have. But because I'm active in self-love, I consider it the best profile I've ever had on TikTok. How has a go with the flow, be positive attitude ever hurt you? Me? Never. This has been great. All this good stuff happens to me because I'm just like happy in the moment, and as more happy stuff keeps happening. You know, you don't get attached to the way it's supposed to happen. You just roll with it. Did you fill out a March Madness bracket? I don't. It's basketball, right? I mean, I don't know a lot about sports. No, I didn't. I never played sports. I never watched the sports. I actually consider... No, nothing against sports. Like, sports are cool, you know? You dig sports, dig them. But I consider the sensationalization of sports, especially in the media, and the weight we put on sports and culture, the exact same weight that the Romans put on the Colosseum. It's a distraction from all the bullshit going on. Like, there's always some stuff signed in Washington during the Super Bowl. That's when they get the work done, you know? It's like everybody's looking the other way. Sign the papers quick, nobody's paying attention, you know? Being overly positive can push people away and makes me sometimes underthink and be... Okay, right there. Do you want to be positive in your life and you want to feel good feelings and be positive and feel good things? Well, if that positivity and goodness pushes out people that suck, good for you. Like, congrats. That's great. You know? Oh yeah, let's get a crystal. Let's get a good sniff, guys. You guys want to do a little meditation before we go to bed? Because I'm not staying up till 11. Shit. I don't even know if I want to do a meditation. I'm tired. I'm a little tie-tie, you know, but we're going to sniff a crystal. Hold on. Ow. Oh, sweet Christ. Mother Mary and Joseph and Jerome. We'll do a love spell instead. Oh, it hurts me. Ooh, there's a nice one. You guys want to do a love spell? Oh, yeah. Man, it's just grapey. I really like this one. Isn't it nice? Doesn't it look cool? Love spell. We're going to do we'll do a meditation and love spell. Is that cool? I know it's time to be done with live when my eyes start looking like red. Like, I look like I'm stoned, but I'm not. I haven't smoked for months. I keep thinking about hitting up Kat. Maybe getting a little bit of that magical cat lettuce, because she just has the good stuff. Maybe I just need to go over her house and smoke once, because every time I buy a little bit of it from her, I don't like it after I smoke the whole bit of it. I just keep smoking it, and then I just feel all, whoa. Okay, Ricky. Do you want this one? This one. Okay, we'll do a meditation, dude. Don't cry. Don't fucking cry on everything. You can cry if you want. People crying every day in sessions. I love it, honestly. Oh, man, I had such a beautiful... It's so funny. During sessions, I'll help people open up these just really deep, like, painful things that are just clogging them up, emotionally speaking. And I had a client yesterday open up just some really painful stuff from childhood. Just, it hurt. Like, I can feel it in me when we're working through it. And it was just like, it was just sad, just so tough. And like, I love walking people through that, but it hurts. And I had my friend Carrie hit me up right after the session. And she's like, I just got a ping from the universe. She's like, are you okay? Is everything okay? And I was like, I'm good. That was a client. I was just so happy. I was like, man, what a gem of a friend. You know what I mean? To be able to like just be kind of tapped in and to like feel me hurting. But it wasn't me hurting. It was my client that was hurting. But man, anyway. God, who suggested Heart of Worship? Who was that? Because it's stuck in my head now. Was that Tomlin? God, you're a jerk. Ugh. I'm coming back. Tinker Pants? It wasn't you. It was somebody else, wasn't it? I still got some of this blue one in here from the... Didn't burn up all the way, so maybe people don't know how to speak their truth now. But I'm going to use that blue wax to stick this green one in here. Make sure it sticks good. You got to really stick that thing if you're going to do a good spell. Oh, it's a little crooked. Here's the thing. When I do these at night, I can see that candle burning when I'm sleeping. And I'm like, why is it so light in here? But then I'm like, no, that's all the love. That looks straight to me. If you don't get these things straight, they kind of burn off to the side, you know. Severe alcohol for many years, veteran and small town girl who didn't belong at all. Yo, dude, come on in for a sesh. Does it help a little? It takes 4 times our energy. That was true. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not real hurting. Y'all seen that carrot commercial? I haven't had a TV since 1998. How am I supposed to see commercials? All right, motherfuckers. We're gonna get loving. You guys ready? Yeah, I want to see a carrot commercial. Katie wants to see one. Take a deep breath. When I say a deep one, not like I got some bullshit breath. Make that breath go all the way down. Get into your butt. And then make it go all the way up. Those are the two sounds a breath makes. And. Okay? So. And release. Just drop all your tensions. Breathe in. Fully inhaling and exhale. And breathe in. I want you to take all your thoughts and breathe them out. Just do that a little bit. You don't have to do anything fancy. Just calm yourself. Take a moment. Just breathe. And I want you to move your focus, your awareness from your brain hole, into your mitsu. Just, you can even put your hand on your heart. It's a good one. Just connect with yourself. Connect with your sensations. It's over 90% of your energetic experience. You don't need those alpha waves of consciousness. That's just your ego trying to make sense of all that feeling. So just feel. Feel your feels. Just breathe. Any pain, any discomfort you're experiencing, any emotional bullshit, just breathe it out. Just allow yourself to rest. In with the good shit. Out with the bullshit. Breathing in, dropping the thoughts. Nice big breath in. Feeling all your feelings, allowing any emotions to be, and breathing them down and out. Just release. And breathe in. Nice, fresh, clean energy. And release. Just keep doing that. Taking a nice breath in. And releasing any negative sensations. Dropping those thoughts. Dropping any of the negative feelings. Just being. Even if the negative feelings are holding, that's okay. It's all part of your human experience. And out. Feel free to be comfortable in your discomfort. It's all a part of it. Nice breath in. And breathing out. And breath in. And clearing negative sensations. Christians, look away. I'm going to cast a spell. As you breathe. I want you to feel into your heart space as you breathe. Place your hand on your heart. Center of your toroidal field, the center of your creation. Breathe in. Connect. Release. You are so fucking awesome and amazing. Everything you're going through is leading you exactly where you need to go with your life. There's nothing that you're doing that's wrong. You're just learning. You're just having a human experience. Stop judging yourself. Allow yourself to rest in this moment. Allow yourself to rest in every moment as you create your future. Releasing the past because you are loved right here, right now, and you are absolutely okay. Shamala hamala. Be healed, motherfuckers. This thing's gonna burn. And all that witchy energy is gonna go out in the quantum field, and you're gonna be healed and love yourself. Bet you didn't expect that. Some of you did. Is it your birthday? Is it your birthday right now? You guys feeling? Did you feel that? Makalaka hi, makahani ho. Yeah. Did you guys feel it? Digging some vibes, digging some vibes. I don't know what you guys are talking about. You better have felt that to your core. I meant it, for real. See that thing burning? It's gonna burn. It's gonna burn down. All that, all the spirits of that candle that I just put a bunch of spirits in, those are gonna get you. You can't do anything about it. You're gonna be feeling that for days. It's gonna change who you are. That was a spell. I spelled it out. I said words. I told you exactly who you are, and you believe it now. Maybe not a lot, maybe just a little bit. It's a small candle, so, you know. I'll get a bigger one next time, but you can't get away from it because it's going to get it down in your soul. You'll feel it every moment. You'll remember it, and you'll know that you're doing everything right, and you're totally okay. Even when it feels like kind of shitty, that's just being human. Yeah? Yeah. All right, you guys, I'm gonna go to bed. Warlock is the male version of a witch. Yeah, some traditions. It's just different words, you know, different words. I like to think of myself as a wizard. 7 a.m. Ooh, you're gonna have a good day. Ooh, you're gonna have a good day. Sweet dreams to those that are resting or going to go to sleep. Good morning to those that are starting your day. Oh yeah, stay hydrated. Everybody get a drink of water. Take care of yourselves, right? Wait. Self-care time before we go to bed or before we get up, depending on where you are in the world. Chapstick. Make sure you keep your lips moist because, you know, I mean, why not? You know? See? This is great. With vitamin E and peppermint. It's Birds Bees. You know me well, Katie White. Katie Whiteout. You mind if I call you Katie Whiteout? That was a nice masculine chapstick application, wasn't it? I don't know any other way to do it, really, honestly. I just kind of put it on my lips. How else are you going to put chapstick on your lips? Maybe there's different ways to do it. Can't really think of another way. Like, get like the caveman grip like this. Be like, what's up, motherfuckers? Grunt and stuff. I really liked kind of doing that. I don't really know. No one ever really taught me, like, this is the right way to put chapstick on. No, it's 100% natural. It's very tingly. Yeah, toxic masculinity is a thing. Yeah, you gotta rub it on there. Like, really get it in there, you know? I think all guys somehow try to avoid looking like it's lipstick. I didn't try to avoid shit. I was just... That was like an intuitive chapstick putting on. Mm-hmm. Mm. Wait, do your lips have pores? We forgot to do the mustache zoom in. I'm going to do a mustache zoom in before we go to bed. Is that cool? Look at those moist lips. Ooh. I gotta go, guys. That's how you know I'm done. When we do the zoom in, I'm out. I love you guys. It's been fun. I'm gonna go to bed. I'll see you guys later. I'm gonna really try to be nice tomorrow. I don't want to rant anymore. I don't think it really helps. But I did like my little contrail rants today. I had a good time with that. On that note, Auf Wiedersehen. I think that's how you say adios or good night or goodbye in German, right? All right. See you guys.